Well, here I am to fulfill your wishes. You ask and you shall receive. We're going to be talking more about Downton Abbey and why Edith is the absolute worst. So what this is going to be is just my personal assessment as to why I don't like Edith Crawley. I mean, she's a great character for a drama show because Edith is always drama. You don't have to agree with me, however...
That is an easy caveat to accept because I'm never wrong.
But before we get going, please heed this royal decree. Like this video so I know that I did a good enough job with it, and subscribe to become a member of the royal court.
I'd hate it if you were to stay away.
As I stated before, Edith makes a great addition to a drama show. However, this is my personal reasons as to why I dislike Edith, but I'm going to break down her personality to back up those reasons.
It's very hard to believe.
Harder for you than for me.
I find her irresponsible, impulsive, and immature. The greatest cocktail for a dramatic person. It isn't that Edith is incapable of making decisions. However, her choices are often springboarded by impulsive reasoning.
No, he's jealous. Jealous? Do you think I couldn't have that old booby if I wanted him? Even you can't take every prize. Is that a challenge? If you like.
This rightly will leave her looking insincere and sometimes looking like a... I'm not even cursing, I just want the point to get across.
Love and position in one handsome package. Who could ask for more?
And predictably, those decisions generally end with poor results. Granted, not all of her choices end badly. She married Herbert, after all, and ran a very successful magazine business. But she kinda lacks the comprehension of the reality surrounding the circumstances that lead up to her making a decision.
You must think very carefully what your answer will be. Yes, I should think very carefully about a lot of things.
Quite often, she pushes the responsibility off on other people, or she throws it back in someone's face to make it seem like they're the ones who are closed-minded, whereas she's in the right. However, in reality, she just isn't thinking of the consequences.
I'm not a bit sorry.
No, you don't look sorry. But you may find yourself feeling very sorry later.
You make me sound very shallow.
Aren't you? When you make me give him up because he has a bad arm.
Oh, it's not the only reason. He's a quarter of a century too old.
Now, don't get me wrong. I am completely aware that a lot of her decisions are heavily influenced by the expectations and taboos of the time period in which Downton Abbey is set. However, there are some things that transcend time.
A lot may be changing, but some things will stay the same.
We cannot forget the period in the station that she is in. She is in a time period where the expectations were much different than now. However, the show tries to inculcate modern viewpoints into that period, which simply did not exist.
I know it isn't very feminine, but I felt so strongly about it, I thought it was worth a try.
No, you misunderstand me. I like the idea of a woman taking a position on a man's subject, and I was going to say, don't be afraid of being serious when it feels right.
She is heedless of the effects her decisions cause, and just expects those around her to accept her reality.
Why is my idea so reckless?
Oh, my dear, where shall I start?
Which changes by the whims she is experiencing at that time.
Can I kiss you?
Not here. In front of all these people.
I don't care. Kiss me. I'm afraid I find the idea of a married man flirting with me wholly repugnant.
The reason for her reactionary, inconsistent behavior stems from one thing that she lacks, but what her sisters have in spades: self-esteem.
I'm a useful spinster, good at helping out. That is my role.
This does not mean she has any less of a personality or that she has any less of a character. However, it does make it difficult for her personality and character to be consistent. She relies heavily on her emotions when perceiving things because of her lack of confidence ever evolving to the people or the situation she's in, which all describe the fluctuations of emotions, and it really clouds her judgment and capability to see the reality of things. Whereas when you look at Mary or Sybil, they are consistent regardless of what situation they are in. Face it, her jealous, combative behavior with Mary always comes down to this singular point.
So he slipped the hook.
At least I'm not fishing with no bait.
Mary is very confident and she's a realist who sees Edith's insecurities, but she does hold her accountable for her actions. Mary forces Edith to see the immaturity of her thinking or her lack of realistic perspective of life. Granted, this isn't always in the healthiest fashion.
Well, you must have told him. You couldn't accept him without telling him.
Tell me what?
About Marigold. Who she really is.
Marigold is my daughter.
However, this doesn't mean Mary doesn't love or appreciate Edith or is always right. Mary simply is just all too aware of the incompatibility of their personalities.
Do you think we might get along a little better in the future?
I doubt it.
Much like our understanding today, somebody with lack of self-esteem or confidence doesn't mean that they're incapable of leading a normal life or even improving their life. It just takes a very secure ground for them to stand on in order for them to really truly grow. During the times she is being given that support, she begins to flourish. Edith needs to feel acceptance, appreciation, and security, an external source, which is not a bad thing. When that stability becomes insecure, Edith too cannot cope and becomes irrational or reactionary. Now, Edith doesn't need a man for emotional stability. No, she has flourished underneath her sister Sybil. However, though her family provides support, they don't give her the necessary room to grow.
Thank you for the vote of confidence, Papa.
Now, this is why Herbert is pretty perfect for her. He is stable and provides secure emotional ground that Edith can thrive on. He's very passive and forgiving, again, like Sybil, which enables Edith's confidence to grow. Yet he is able to deliver a healthy dose of reality in a way that she is able to accept it. Now, redemption arc aside, I just personally find her character frustrating to watch, much less be entertained by. Her dalliances in a drama set in the very early 20th century is aggravating. I'm not so much sure that that's supposed to be a character flaw, or if the writers just didn't take early aristocratic 9-tween society into account. Mary sure is self-aware, though.
We ruined Mama. Ruined and notorious. A laughingstock, a social pariah. Is that what you want for your eldest daughter? Is it what you want for the family?
Which leads one to believe it's an intentional character flaw, which just throws me through a range of emotions that include, and is not limited to, largely of negative stimulations, because I also am aware of 20th century do's and don'ts. Some may say that that's looking into things too much and just not taking the show for what it is, but if that was the case, Granny's character would be pretty obsolete, because a major function of her role is to recall the traditional values of the aristocracy, albeit with her classic backhanded wit.
So put that in your pipe and smoke it.
I will give Edith some credit, though. She's pretty much the best character to toe the line for the show's chronology moving forward, which involved a lot of revolutions of societal norms and values, though she does it with about as much grace and elegance as a wrecking ball. But nothing could sum up my opinion of Edith better than the master of persistence herself.
Edith, dear, you're a woman with a brain and reasonable ability. Stop whining.
I wish to thank all of my subscribers. I hope you enjoyed this video. I did work really hard on it. Please leave a like down below and please leave a comment. I really enjoy reading them. I also like to get your feedback on my videos and what you would like to see next. And just remember, whenever you're visiting my court, whether you are a subscriber or a new individual watching these videos, you are supposed to curtsy out of due respect. All curtsies are acceptable by means of the like button. I will wait.